welcome back to another episode of the Why Not Us podcast with your favorite podcast host, Seneca and Rahmere. You know what I'm saying? We're so glad you're here. We're so glad that you came and clicked on another episode and you just scrolled and see like, yo, what else they dropping next? You know what I'm saying? Super excited, super glad that you're here.
Yes. Thank you for continuing to keep coming back. Thank you for continuing to keep sharing and liking. And thank you for all the love that you show us on Instagram. And we just appreciate like how much you love the podcast and you love what we talk about. So thank you for joining us.
Yeah, for sure.
So what we want to get into about like our highs and lows. We start with that?
Yeah, we're going to start with our highs and lows. All right, so I guess since you put it on me, let's talk about my highs and my lows. My particular high is, I'm going to start my low.
Okay.
No, I have to do it in that order because it makes sense.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie. So my high is that I started my Twitch back up. You guys ain't know, you know what I'm saying? But now that I have a PC computer, I can do different things. You know what I'm saying?
PC. You've been wanting that for such a long time.
I know. I think it's really good to invest in yourself too.
Absolutely.
Because I had to look at it as an investment.
Yeah.
Because I use a computer to edit, but also I was going to use it for live streaming video games and everything like that. So I invested in myself, got a PC, and now I'm starting to make my Twitch up again. My low is that it's like at the beginning stages, and everything is always in life is going to have a beginning stages.
Absolutely.
Never despise small beginnings. You need small beginnings in order to get you the ball rolling or to get moving and get bigger. And
absolutely.
Or maybe you don't get bigger. It still grows you. You still learn a lot from that. So yeah, it's at the beginning stages now. So I guess if I would have a low, that would be that.
It's not a bad low.
Yeah.
It's not. Well, I'll start. Since you started with your high, I'll start with my low. I'll do the weather. The weather's been low for me. It's just so cold. Like I just feel like these days, you know, it snows once a week, excuse me. Then it's rainy. Then, you know, it's just so cold. And I'm just kind of ready for it to change up a little bit. I feel like we've been in this really stagnant cold weather for like longer than we should. But on the upside, at least we haven't had any crazy winters or anything like that.
Yeah, no Sharknadoes or
so
whatever.
Yeah. So that's a low for me. But my high would be, I'm really, really excited for some up and coming projects we have with NCP. We have a lot of new things in store. It's really exciting. And it's definitely, something that each one of us in the group are really looking forward to. We're putting our own stamp and just really excited. It's just good to kind of get into new projects and to, you see it feels good. But yeah, I'm really excited for, you guys to hear it once those things come out and it gets rolling.
Yeah, I know we said that a lot, but it's going to get rolling.
Absolutely.
And once it start rolling, it's going to be rolling.
It ain't
That's
gonna
all
stop.
I know.
Period.
That's all I know. But that's a good high.
Yeah.
That's really good. That's really good. So our next segment of the podcast, which we get into, is our Icon in the Eye. Becoming to be one of my favorite segments. We're going to dive into who our Icon in the Eye is.
Yes.
Would you like to start?
I would love to start. So my Icon in the Eye this week is going to be an actress, and her name is Lovely Simone. I love her personally so much. She has, if you don't recognize her name, she's been on shows like Greenleaf. She's been in a movie called Selling the Spades.
I did see that.
Yeah, she's really good. And to me, she's like a rated gem that is just continuing to rise before our eyes. And we need more Black actresses, particularly I just feel like more dark-skinned actresses. I'm just gonna say that it's so important to have so many different complexities and so many different textures and colors in the world of acting. It's so important to see that so kids and anybody can see that representation. So she's my Icon in the Eye strictly because she's a really good actress. She really takes her craft very seriously, and she's going to be in an up-and-coming movie on Netflix. It's called, Forever. It's coming to Netflix, coming soon. We don't really know the date yet, but I'm really excited to see her delve into this new sort of genre. It's like a love genre.
Oh, okay.
For her, I'm used to her.
Is she the lead?
Yes, she is.
Okay,
she's the lead. I have to find out the other guy's, the gentleman's name, but she is the lead, and I'm really excited for her. And yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, she's really cool. She's a really dope actress and just a cool aesthetic person to follow on Instagram. So shout out to you, lovely Simone, and keep doing your thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. My icon in the eye is someone that we both know.
Okay.
Someone we went to school with. I want to shout out Tiana White. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? She's someone that can I say, like, even before we like met her, we just knew she was creative, right?
Okay, yes,
I just
absolutely.
feel like she's just somebody that like exudes creativity,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And someone who I admire because it's not just one lane that she delves into and does really well.
Mm-hmm.
Because she is an excellent poet.
Yes, she is.
Excellent poetry.
Spoken word.
She always does her thing. And then now, like, she's moving into production, has her production company, and like now she's like doing projects. And I know she's put on stage plays and before, and I know that she's acting in some things before. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like she's just in like all around like creative ball.
Yes,
like I don't know.
Yeah.
But I just want to shout her out because she's somebody I've known to always been up to something. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just I've always been, you know, excited whenever I see her post like looking for certain things for a project or whatever like that. So I just want to give her kudos, her flowers, you know, shout out to Tiana.
She's definitely a bright light.
Yes.
She's really, really dope.
Yes, for sure. Perfect. So, you know, it kind of sounds like y'all know what time it is. We know what time it is. Sounds like main topic time. And we have a special episode for you today, too. We'll be joined by a guest in this episode that we're really excited to talk to and kind of bring forth our topic. But the topic of today is balancing art and money. Mm-hmm. So, I feel like as a creative, I feel like as a creative and entrepreneur specifically,
absolutely,
money is important.
Yeah,
money is very important.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, you need money to live off of, you need money to survive off of, but also you need money to improve your products, improve your processes, whatever. Mm-hmm. You need money to do those things. So being an entrepreneur is already a challenge in itself.
It is.
But now imagine that you are creating those projects, creating those products. Mm-hmm. So like it's a double whammy. And we really wanted to get to the bottom of like, how do you balance creating for art and creating for money? Like,
and reinvesting that money into your art.
Yeah.
It's like such a thing of, we hear people talk about it all the time of, that's why it's so important to invest into, shout out to all small businesses and shout out to our Black creators, because when they are selling a product or making a product, it's so important to, understand that it's not just they're selling something to you. They have to go and buy those supplies or make those things or sew those things or create those things. So it's not just when you see a price on something, it's not like, oh, this is $50. It's $50 worth. It should probably be worth way more than that, but they're doing a bargain because it's like, I have to bargain with you, but also how low or how far can I bargain my art, right? Like you just said, it's like a double whammy. So money and balancing art is very, very crucial.
It's very crucial. I'm really glad we have this special guest to talk about this.
Yes.
You guys are going to hear from Janelle. She's like a creative fairy, a lot of people say. Like, she's a New York-based queer artist who specializes in various forms of artwork. So it could be like paintings, or she also makes journals and other pieces of wonderful art. And she's been doing it for a little while. And we're honored to have her on the podcast and talk with us a little bit. So without further ado, here's the section with Janelle. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special guest in the studio with us. Coming all the way from Long Island, New York.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? The one and only Janelle. You know what I'm saying? We're so happy to have her here.
Yes.
Long-time supporter, long-time listener. Just one of our friends too, for sure. Like, Janelle, just introduce yourself a little bit.
Hi, I'm Janelle. I go by State with Your Art on Instagram. And I call myself a full-time artist. So still navigating the art world and trying to get up more and more. So yeah.
Absolutely. So how long have you been doing your art, creating your art? Is it something that you've always wanted to do? Just tell us that process.
So I did always want to do it. I remember like we had like drawing contests, me and this one boy from 2nd or 3rd grade all the time, and like people would like watch us draw. And then after that I was like probably middle or high school, probably middle school, and I was like, I want to be an artist. And somebody was like, artists don't make money. And I was like, okay, well, I'll be a fashion designer then. And that didn't work out because I didn't get to go to school for fashion. I also didn't go to school for art, but I feel like it was just like, it flowed better, like it aligned more with me. So I started in 2021, like professionally. And it really started because somebody gave me a canvas that had like one of their paintings on it, but they didn't want it anymore. And somebody else, I think, bought me some paint. And I was like, let me see how this works. Mm-hmm. So then I like just painted over that canvas, and I was like, oh wow, this is really good. And before that, like I didn't know I could paint because in my heart, like I felt like I could not paint. I was like, I can only draw, like I can't paint. But it looked really good. And then from then, it just like really all flowed. Like every time I look back at pictures, I'm like, this is crazy, like how that happened, because it was like so fast. It was like first painting, first art show. I lost my job. Like I call this lady because I do arts in the plaza, which is like a art fair, like / farmers market, like from May to October, I think. And I had gotten my job in, I think, June. And I was like, dang, I can't do arts in the plaza. I didn't even know about it. I was Googling stuff because somebody had told me to Google certain art shows. And so I Googled it and I was like, I can't do it. I called the lady. I was like, can I do it for maybe like an hour after work? And then that day after, I got let go of my job. So I was like, oh wait, I actually can't do it now. And that it just seemed like everything was just flowing perfectly for me to like be able to do my art. So yeah.
Yeah. Now I have a question. You stating, as far as your job letting you go, how did that make you feel? It like, was that like you said, I'm sure it was a relief, but could you talk about a little bit more about how, like, did it feel like, okay, like, what do I have to do now? Or did it feel like this is like what I've been waiting for? This is my time to shine.
Yeah,
this is my time to
every time
come
I
to the
lose a job,
forefront.
I feel like this is my time to shine, even though I need money. So I'd be mad because I'm just like, this is like a steady income. But the job that I had gotten, the full-time position I got, was like harder because I had gotten let go because I had a panic attack at work. So that felt like, okay, like I'm not supposed to be here. Like my body's telling me I'm not supposed to be here. But it was still hard to be like, okay, yeah, I get to do my art, but like with what money?
Yeah.
It's real.
It's tough too because like you said, like you want to put forth like this creativity, you want to put forth this art, but like in life, unfortunately, you need money to live. And sometimes you need money to create that art. So it's kind of like difficult to balance both or do both. But even commenting on your story too is so fun. It's like interesting that you said like people will have provided you with the tools, low key, like before you even know that's what you wanted to do, or before you even know that's what you were supposed to do. Like people gave you this, gave you that, and then I think a lot of times that's how people's like we talked about it before. Like that's how people's like purpose or their passion gets discovered through other people seeing things in you and giving you things, and that's fire. That's
fire. Yeah. And at the school I used to work at, I used to like draw for them. They had me at bathroom duty, and all you do is sit there. So I was like, I'm not about to just sit here and do nothing. Right. So I brought my sketchbook with me, and the kids like passing by would always be like, Miss Janelle, can you draw this for me? And then they would like, whenever they would go to the bathroom, they would go to the bathroom to pick up their art. But
so Miss Janelle got my art for me.
It was like a little my own little art people, my first supporters. But and then this one little kid in first grade, I didn't even know him, and he like they always walk down like these certain stairs, so which is where I sit by the bathroom. So one day he like came up to me, he was like, "Here you go," and I was just like, "What is it?" And he's like, "It's a sketchbook for you to." He like made a sketchbook out of construction paper, and he's like, "I know you like to draw," so I was like, oh, this little first grader that I don't even know like recognizes that. Like, it was so cute.
That's so cute. That's such a cute interaction. Speaking of like that moment that you just shared with us, if your art had a voice of its own, and what message do you think that it could cultivate or that it would share with the world?
I think it would say to be your most authentic self and express that in any way that you believe that you should.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a good message.
I love that.
Yeah. I guess following up on just like all the projects you did, I know you probably have favorites. I know you probably like have projects that's like, oh, this one took a lot out of me, or this one came from a special place. But do you have a project where you looked at it and you was like, wow, I'm truly made to do this. Like, I'm really fire.
I wouldn't say like I have a specific project
Yeah.
that makes me feel like that, but I do hand painted journals, which is because I can't sell these because they're too expensive. I started making hand painted journals, and like when people are like, come back like 2 years later, oh, I still have your journal that you made sitting on my dresser. Like, I still use that journal, or I saw you 2 years ago and I want to get another one for this person. Like, that really makes me feel like, yeah, like you're really like made to do this, because it's not just like art. It's like art that people like, I guess, feel like
Yeah.
and remember.
I like that. I love how I feel like you are one of the people you're an artist, but your niche is very specific, or you can be versatile. Have you come across anybody, I guess not necessarily like you, but maybe people who've inspired you, or maybe you've inspired people? Can you talk about like, I guess, the inspiration process, or just finding your own lane and finding yourself in this art journey?
I would say one of my favorite artists, Koval. Her real name is Deanna. I forgot her last name. But she's my favorite artist. She was the first artist that I think I saw like in real time, like, wow, she lives in New York, like she's a big artist, like she's making a living off of her art. Like, she, at the time when I saw her on Instagram, like she had this like huge basketball court that she was able to paint, and it was just like, oh wow, like you could really like do this. And she's not like much older than me or anything like that, so it was like somebody that I was just like, that gave me hope that I could really like be an artist. And then I met her over the summer, so I was like, okay, like this is really,
It's dope.
yeah.
So at this phase right now, where you are in your art journey, how do you want your art to evolve and grow? And like, what legacy do you want to leave behind? Like when they think of say with your art, like what do you want people to get?
First of all, I want my art to get better every time. So I'm currently practicing like how to do portraits, how to do like bodies. I want people to like see in my art, if they didn't know me, like say my art was in Paris and they saw like what I would want them to get from that is, I feel like my art is so like different, but it is similar to other people's, but it's so different that I want them to like know that they could really just be whoever they are. Like, they don't have to fit into a mold that anybody's putting them into, or fit into a box that anybody wants them to be in. They have to expand themselves and be able to just live life how they want to live it.
That's right. That's a beautiful message. That's
And
right.
encouraging, too.
Yes.
y'all listening here, that's what, you know what I'm saying? That's what Janelle wants you to take from her heart. For sure. Anything else you want to add about your process and about just like your journey, or like any words of encouragement or like anything like that?
Well, I would say to, like I said, somebody told me like artists don't make money. Don't let people's words deter you from what you know your passion and your dream is.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously I went to school with you guys and studied same major, but I knew that wasn't my passion. It was kind of just like, okay, like this is also creative, so let me do it since my parents aren't gonna allow me to go to fashion school or art school. So we just do like communications, media studies. And I knew I didn't want to do that. So I think that is why it's so hard for me to like get into that space. But it's so easy, like it flows so effortlessly when I'm doing my art. And I noticed that a lot. It's very aligning. It's very synchronous. Like the word I use a lot is synchronicity, because it just feels like everything is in sync. So if somebody tries to deter you from your dream, like do not let them. Doesn't matter who they are. Doesn't matter if they're your parents, your guidance counselor, whoever. Like don't let anybody's discouraging words affect how you navigate through the world.
I like that.
That's right. Powerful words. Powerful words.
I like that.
Synchronicity is so perfect. If you don't have that, I feel like that it's not for you, right? Yeah, so that was beautiful, and we thank you for that interview portion. And now we're gonna continue to talk about what we've already been talking about. Our main topic for today: balancing creating for art versus creating your art for money. So how do we want to like spring this forward a little bit?
So basically, I think when we were going through topics, we was like, yo, Janelle, I think she can definitely speak to this, right? You know what I'm saying? Definitely have experience just being in this world where you are a creative and you are an artist, but now you have to kind of create your art for money now in this chapter of life. So I feel like yeah, you definitely can give a lot of insight as to like what that process is and like how reluctant you were at first maybe about doing that, or like maybe like it's like literally what you said. You was like, you know, if you had your art on display, people not or would probably be a little less likely to buy a whole $700 piece. All right, so let me tailor my art for something that may be more financially, you know, financially I can't think of the word. For the consumer.
Right.
So I definitely think like you can give your insights. So like when you first had to jump into the pool of creating your art for money, like were you like apprehensive, or did you have any idea like what you would do, or what was your mindset going into that?
So when I first started making money,
Yeah,
it was my first art show.
mm-hmm.
And I didn't have to do it for money because I did have a job at that time.
Mm-hmm.
But when I did have jobs, I was just like, I don't want to have to make art for money, because I would always hear like artists saying like, I'm burnt out, this is not enjoyable anymore. And I didn't want to get to that space. So I was like, I don't want to have to I want to make money from it.
Have to.
But I don't want to I don't want this to be my main source of income. When I realized that when I had gotten fired from the other job, the full-time one, I was like, I don't know what to do. But luckily, I don't remember what year I started working at the art studio, but I got like a couple hours here and there at the art studio. And I don't know, like, I feel like God just be like, yep, we're going to make this work, because the way I only have $188 in my account right now. And I'm just like, well, it is what it is, because my bills are paid.
You got everything you need already taken care of.
Exactly. I be eating good.
Right.
Like, it's like, it is what it is. Like, of course, it would be great if I had a full-time job, but to have to make art for money, I realized that for me, I'm just like, okay, yes, people like this certain thing. So would I want to make that certain thing over and over and over again before I get burnt out? No.
Right.
Because I hear so many stories of people like just not loving it anymore. And I want to love it, because like if I don't love something that gives me peace, then like I'm gonna have to go find something else that gives me peace. And as somebody who struggles with mental health, that's gonna be like a whole ride.
Yes.
So I decided, okay, people always tell me, oh, how about you paint like landscapes? And I'm just like, for what? And they're like, because then you can make more money off of it. I'm like, well, they could go buy a landscape anywhere. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to make a landscape unless I was like, if you want to commission a landscape, I'll make a landscape for you, knowing that you're gonna buy it. My thing is that if I'm gonna paint something or if I'm gonna create anything, it has to be for me. If somebody's willing to buy it, then that's great.
Yes.
But I don't want to have to be like, oh, maybe everybody likes landscapes, so let me go make a bunch of landscapes and hopefully they sell, when I don't feel
like them in the first place. Yeah.
That's not doing anything for me. At least if my art doesn't sell, at least I know I created it because I wanted to.
Yep.
But when I paint my journals, and I also started doing plates too, I should show you. I have like these little.
That's really nice.
Oh, I want one.
I'll make you one. But so yeah, I started doing plates too, and just things that people can use. So it's just like people will look at it and like they'll like a certain design, they'll buy that certain journal. Yeah. But I'm not like people like, I'm not gonna make 10 of the same journals just because that hopefully everybody likes that one specific design. Like I want to create something that is meaningful, that everybody can say like, I have this one and it's unique to me. So there is one design that I realize a lot of people like, it sells every time I make it. So I have been like tweaking that design a little bit, and it still sells every time I make it. Yeah, but good. It's like at least you have like one that's gonna definitely sell. But I'm just like, I have like, my thing is like, I don't want just anybody buying my stuff. So I make them at the prices that I do, because I want whoever's genuinely supporting to support me. And I just feel like this is a story. This one lady, I was selling my journals for $40. They're now $50. But when I was selling them for $40, she asked me if she could buy, I think like 5 for $100.
Yeah, that don't add up.
Exactly.
What?
Something around that line where the math was not mathing, and I was just like, fine, whatever. Because I'm just like, at least I'll make the money. Like, I'm sitting here for hours and nobody's buying anything. So I was about to sell those journals to her for that little cheap price. Yeah. Then when she went to go put in her Zelle information, it wasn't working. And she was like, oh, maybe Zelle's down today. I was just like, well, it is what it is. Next person came up, their Zelle was working. They bought it full price. I said, God be doing what he does, because there's literally no way that lady who's trying to con me, her Zelle wasn't working, but everybody else's is working.
He was like, nah, not Janelle. Like, hey, I want to take care of her. She's gonna be good. Yeah.
So then that showed me like, girl, people are gonna buy your art for what you set it at. And if they can't, I have a lot of people who I'm like, oh, I'll give it to you for 45. And they're like, no, I want it for 50. Like, but I just don't have 50 right now, but they want to support me fully. And I appreciate that. So I forgot the question, but
but like you said, it's really truly true. Like your price is going to be your price. Like If they can't afford it or they don't respect it, somebody will. There's 8 billion people on Earth. Like somebody will. Oh, they might be like, oh man, I thought it was gonna be more than that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your price is your price.
Yes, it don't change. I feel like during this topic, it's also important to speak about or think about misconceptions. I think people misconstrued and take it the wrong way with artists about, like what you said before. I've had someone say that to me before about, oh, art doesn't make money or something like that. So like, what do we think, or like how it is not even about proving people wrong, but people really feel like art doesn't make money because it's not a typical, like, office job or something like that, and you're doing it for you. Do you feel like people have like a misconception of what an artist is and what an artist does and that day-to-day grind? Like, what do you think about misconceptions as far as that?
Because I feel like I don't get like as much support as I deserve. So I'm just like, do people think I'm just like sitting around like doing nothing, being a little fairy, which I am, but like, do they think that I'm just like doing nothing all day? And like, I don't know, like maybe that's why they don't support. But I'm just like, in reality, like I am a struggling artist, like in the sense of what our economy is, how our economy is set up. But I feel like, yes, art can make money. Obviously, we know that like Picasso and them started making money after they died.
Yeah.
So it is like a little discouraging because you're just like, okay, like people will recognize its worth when you're gone.
Yeah.
But, or more so when you're gone. But it gives me hope when I see people who are making money off of their art. But it's just like everything has like its ebbs and flows. So like some jobs, like how they said like tech companies are like laying people off a lot. So it's just like, yeah, tech makes money, but also your job is at risk a lot. So it's like everything is gonna,
you can choose. Yeah.
so just like, I mean, I feel like some people, I think I read it in a book somewhere, but it's just like you have to see what you value the most. Some people it is money, so it's just like, okay, I don't care if my mental health is declining, I want to make this money, so I'm going to do this job. For other people, it's I need my peace, I don't care what you're paying me, like I'm quitting the job if you're not treating me right. That's me.
Yes, that's me too, girl.
Like,
I'm
you
like
have
that.
to pay me like $1 million for me to not like quit if you acting crazy. But a lot of the times I'm just like here for my peace, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, I have this job. Is it working for me mentally, emotionally? Like, it can't be only financially for me that the job is doing what it needs to do. And most of the time, they don't even be paying you what you're worth. So it's just like, are you really worth it in any aspect? Not really. So I just feel like when people say like, oh, like when people look at art as if it's like less than, I don't think they understand that like art is all around them. And like everything that they're consuming is art. The bulletin boards that you see at the store is art. Most of the models, the people that take pictures of them, they are artists.
Yeah.
The models are artists. They gotta know how to pose. Like, I feel like everybody is an artist in their own way, but they don't know, or they don't see it as like, they don't see the artist in themselves.
Like your construction workers are like, that's art, how they build the roads, building a car, the mechanics, like low key, you actually right.
Yeah. I got this grandma had told me like, when from the class at the art studio, she had told me like, I can't draw, like I don't think I could do it. And I'm like, yes you can, like you could just go on YouTube and like try it. And she was like, it was just like, it comes naturally to some people. And I'm like, in a sense it comes naturally to some people, but if I look back at like art that I did even last year, I'm like, this looks crazy. But like I have to practice my skill. It doesn't necessarily come naturally how people think it does. Like you don't wake up one day and you're this amazing artist. You have to put in the work. So I think that anybody who is willing to can be an artist.
I agree with that. I got like one more follow up question when it comes to like creating and making your art for money now. And it is something that I have struggled with and still kind of struggle with. How did you determine your pricing? Like, how did you, like, some people, they don't know how to value their artistic worth. They're like, oh, should I charge this much? Or people won't buy it this much, or maybe I should do less, or maybe I should charge what I'm worth, but then people are not hitting me up about prices. Maybe it's too like, how did you figure out what you want to charge and like stand on it?
So I was originally charging 20 for my journals, and this girl had told me like, why are you charging 20? And I was like, I don't know. And she was like, you how many hours did you work on that journal? And I told her, and she's like, okay, how many hours do you want to get paid? How much do you want to get paid per hour? And I said what I would want to get paid. And then she was like, okay, so if you're spending 2 hours on each journal, you're not working for $10 an hour.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, $20 an hour is reasonable. Granted, I'm not trying to work for $20 an hour either. I want to work for like $100 an hour. I'm not gonna sell a journal for $200. At least not right now. So it's like a balance between like, for the consumer goods, I would say, like the journals, the plates. It's like a balance between like what am I worth and what is affordable. Because I know if I see a $200 journal, I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah,
I need that. No.
let me go buy this $200 journal. If I see a $50 journal from an artist, I'm gonna be like, all right, yeah. So that plus my paintings, like I said, they're $700, and I have heard people say like, oh, you're not like big, so you shouldn't be selling your art for that much money. And I'm like, first of all, somebody bought this one. No. So people are gonna buy it, and if they don't inquire about the price, I assume that means they think that it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because if I'm just like, oh, say if I wanted to do a photo shoot and I'm just like, this person probably does shoots for like $2,000, I'm not going to inquire about it because I know I don't have $200. So if you're not inquiring about the price, that means you see the value in my work and you're like, all right, let me not play with her. Yeah. So I think that it's all about like self-worth. And then also seeing like my first way that I started navigating my prices was there's this girl named Sincerely Art, and she's an artist too. And she's also like same exact age as me and a huge like success. So I go on her page and I'm like, how much does she sell this stuff for? How much she sell this for? And I'm like, okay, so I'll sell my stuff for like around the same prices, because it is a similar, I have her art actually right there. It's a similar like fantasy style. So I'm just like, okay, so like, for example, you go to Michael Kors and probably like some other high-end person, they probably have like similar prices. So I feel like it's like the people that you not competing with, but like you're kind of matched with.
Yeah. In the same band or same space.
Yeah. You could like look at their prices to be like, okay, like if somebody's a photographer, if you're in the same level as this one photographer, see what their prices are and then go with that. Or like for face painting, somebody told me to raise my prices for face painting because they were like, other face painters are like higher. And I'm like, okay. Anytime somebody tells me to raise my prices, I do not question them.
Right.
My prices.
Well, you're right. All right.
Because I'm just like, what is the harm?
Yeah.
People are gonna go out and buy $200 shoes, $200 bags. They could spend a little $50 on a journal. They could spend $700 on a painting that's gonna last forever.
Yeah.
Your shoes are not gonna last forever unless you don't wear them.
It's true.
Your clothes aren't gonna last forever, especially the way they make them now.
Nope.
So
And it made me think of people who say like they say like people small artists and stuff like that, like, oh, that doesn't match, who you are, what you're about. But to me it's about like the quality. Like I'm a small artist, but I invest in my product. I make sure it's high quality, paintings, it's the paint, the paper that I use, the brushes that I use. You don't know where this stuff is coming from.
if they step foot in Michael's, they'll figure out why our prices are our prices.
Michael's ain't no joke.
Yeah.
Because I bought one paintbrush. I said it can't be this much money. Like that's crazy. One little paint tube, $14.
Yeah. So raise that price.
That's exactly. And they sold a banana and some tape for how much?
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness.
So you not complain about my prices. Like
Please.
that's not. We're not doing that.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add on the topic of just balancing your art between like creating for art and creating for money? Anything that we didn't touch on?
I would say like do what you have to do. If you genuinely have to like sell 100 things to make rent,
Yeah.
then do what you have to do. I'm not saying like, oh, don't create to make money. Like some people literally have to pay for their kids, pay for food, pay for rent, and all they have is their creative outlet. You have to do what you have to do. So I would say to figure out what you are able to do, and then find another. If you have to sell handbags for a certain amount of time, figure out another outlet to do, like drawing or clay or something in a creative field as well. Doesn't have to be the exact same thing that you do to express yourself or to make money.
No, that's good.
I love that. Speaking versatility.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want to like close it out as far as like your handles, where can people find you, find your art and everything?
You can find me on Instagram and YouTube at Say It With Your Art, SayWithyArt. And what else?
Just like any like
I'm doing the 5 words.
Oh yeah. Go ahead. Do your 5 words. That's you prepared.
Say synchronicity.
Okay.
Alignment. Expression.
Okay.
Creativity. And queerness.
Okay.
Beautiful.
5.
I love that.
I like that. And
good.
I feel like when we do ours, we try to make it like a complete sentence, but we could definitely. I'm about to steal Janelle's cheat code. I'm about to just do 5 words.
5 words. Yeah, I think I just be saying whatever they be coming to me. I don't know.
If I made a sentence, I'd have to like think about how many.
No, yeah, that'd be way more.
Thank you so much for doing this interview. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your art. Everything that you do. You are a Black girl who rocks. I'm going to let you know that. Mental health is very important. So the world is so blessed to have your art.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's so important to continue to put that in our artists. Even though we know it, we might not know it on the day-to-day. So continue to keep growing, keep glowing, and keep doing your thing.
Wow, what a great topic. And we had a great guest to really tie it all together for us.
She gave us a lot.
Yes, a lot of gems, a lot of like tidbits, and it was just a great conversation overall. I'm just glad we were able to have her on.
Yes, and shout out to her because she, definitely is a colleague of ours, and she definitely is a person that we love to support. So everybody, make sure you guys check her out. We will have her information, her ads, where you can go find her works down below. And shout out to you once again, Janelle.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, and then. Now, we're going to dive into our final 5, which is also going to become one of my favorite segments. I got to pick a segment that's like over. I kind of final 5, you got to see. But since you went first on I go first on my final 5.
Absolutely.
All right. I wrote it down, ladies and gentlemen. I got this right.
You're not doing your count that you usually do?
No.
No, okay.
No. My final 5 for this episode No, I'm gonna do my count. It feels weird not to do it. I'm not gonna lie. My final 5 for this episode is never change for some change.
Gotta get some snaps on that one.
I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying?
Poetic.
It really is like just staying true to yourself. It doesn't matter what dollar amount. It doesn't matter what people offer you. It's just staying true to who you are, and that's what people really want.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel like if you sell out or if you like, you know, try to appease where the money's at, I think you're not gonna like it in the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about movies. Fun fact.
Ooh, okay.
Now, just how I feel about movies or shows. It's not necessarily about the creativity. It's about playing it safe, and it's about making money back. So that's why you get all these nostalgia kicks because the new audience who's never seen it is going to watch it, but then also our generation who's seen it as a kid is going to go watch it
again.
That's double guaranteed money.
Yeah.
So it's less about the creativity and more about the money.
I feel
Never change for some change.
I feel that.
Stick to your.
That's
stick
an
to yourself.
important thing. That really is. That's a value that needs to be like at the top of a creator's value mark, because it's like, first of all, authenticity is everything. And that's like one of the things that you have. To me, I feel like all you have is like your name and your authenticity. Like no one can take that away from you. So continue to be original, continue to embrace yourself. And I just love how you put that all, like wrap it in a bow.
Never change for some change, man.
Perfect. So my final 5 is create now, doubt later, repeat.
Okay. I like that. It's like a cycle.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, you know, sometimes in life and, you know, creating spaces, we just have the ideas and we have like the, you know, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this. And we don't do it because it's like, oh, but I don't have this. Oh, but I don't have that. Like we talked about that before, right? And it's just like, just create it. And I think to me, it kind of wraps up with like your Twitch. You know, you're like, oh, it's not, one of your lows is like, you know, it's still at the starting stages. And that's okay. Because you can always grow and get more equipment. You can always grow and get larger audiences. Just create now, doubt later. All your fears, all your doubts, like throw that out the window and just focus on the intention. Focus on the goal. Focus on what you're doing this for. Focus on inspiring not only others, but yourself. So that's what that just means. And repeat. Never give up on, to me, I love routine. So just repeat that mind, that thought process, and create now, doubt later, repeat.
I love that. I like how different it was, too, because I don't think we ever had a final 5, like, spat out like that in, like, a instructional form.
Right.
It kind of reminds me of, like, the keep calm and whatever.
Oh, yes.
So that I like that. That's pretty
Thank
creative.
you. Yeah, need that sometimes.
You know. But you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the Why Not Us podcast. You know, we surely did. We surely love bringing it to you. Absolutely. And if you want more, like, topics to be brought up or guests to be brought on, like, let us know. Like, we're not, you know, too big or too like stuck in our ways to bring on your favorite people.
Yes.
You know, they could be local to us, not local. Like we if y'all want it to happen, it'll happen.
We can make it happen.
That's how I feel. And whatever topics you want us to cover, let us know. Leave it in the comments. DM us at any of our social platforms. Let us know, and we'll bring it to you as best we can.
Absolutely. And make sure you guys are liking this video up. It is definitely free. Subscribe if you like what you see. If you're new, welcome. We thank you for joining us. Make sure you tell a friend, sister, brother, cousin.
All of them.
All of them. And once again, this is for creatives, by creatives.
See ya.